There's an amazing story about Jesus in Matthew 8, verses 23 to 27. It says, "As he got into the boat, his disciples followed him. Suddenly, a violent storm arose on the sea so that the boat was being swamped by the waves, but Jesus kept sleeping. So the disciples came and woke him up, saying, 'Lord, save us, we're going to die.' He said to them, 'Why are you afraid, you of little faith?' Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. The men were amazed and asked, 'What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the sea obey him.'" Now, consider how this story can help you when you're going through storms. Number one, you will go through some storms. Life isn't always easy. In fact, sometimes it shakes you to the core. There are deaths, illnesses, disabilities, layoffs, firings, disasters of all kinds, divorces, consequences, etc. And when these storms hit, they can make it very difficult for you to keep your focus on serving Christ and can throw you into full panic, desperation, and depression. Just as sure as these people hit a storm in their lives, you should expect to encounter a storm in your own, and probably more than one. Number two, you must go to Jesus. Whenever Jesus' disciples found themselves in the middle of a violent storm, they went to Jesus. And so should you. Sometimes when storms hit, it can be tempting to think that you can handle it yourself or run to some other source for help. But you must make sure that you go to Jesus in stormy times as well as in good times. Go to him by studying his word and obeying his commands, learning how you should respond to your storms. Go to God in prayer with boldness through Jesus Christ, knowing that there's great power in prayer, and experience the peace that surpasses all understanding through him. Third, know that no storm is stronger than Jesus. The disciples had seen Jesus' power in the past. Yet when the storm hit, they were afraid and thought they were going to die. But if they were going to die in the storm, it also would have gotten Jesus. Yet Jesus showed his disciples that he is more powerful than the fiercest of storms. And you must recognize that there is no storm stronger than Jesus. He has the power to calm the storms. But even if the physical storms are not calmed around you, as he does not promise anyone an easy life on this earth, he can and will save you if you're faithful to him by giving you everlasting life in heaven. And then number 4, remain calm. The disciples failed on this point. They panicked. They said, "Lord, save us, we're going to die." They acted on human reasoning and emotion and not on faith. If they had thought calmly and clearly, they should have recognized that no storm could swallow a ship with the Son of God in it. Yet people do the same thing whenever they find themselves in a storm. They panic and begin acting on emotion rather than faith. So you must choose to live by faith while you go through your storms and refuse to allow Satan to sweep you up in emotion. And number 5, only fear whenever Jesus is not in your boat. Just imagine if the disciples had gotten caught in that storm without Jesus. Perhaps they would have died. Yet people try to face the storms of life without Jesus every day. They live without Jesus in their boat. And when this happens, there is no hope. There is no everything's going to be okay. There is no peace. In Matthew 8, Jesus shows us that he can conquer the fiercest storms Regardless of how rough the storms of your life may be, Jesus can help you find peace. And Jesus can calm these storms by providing you with eternal life in heaven when your earthly life ends. You must simply demonstrate faithful obedience to Him, no matter how fierce your storms appear.